Hey, Do. I didn't even see you there. So, hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Is everybody ready for another mystery card? I'm just taking out the little cat from the Fluffiest Friends. Now, this you will not find in the catalog. It is actually an online exclusive. And that is the image I am going to use tonight for our card. And I actually did not even take out a sentiment for the inside. See that? Let's see if I can find something. There's so many I can choose from. Let's see what we have here. I have all my sets are all over the place here. I've been cleaning, so you know what we say when we clean our room. It's not something that we should do because everything gets lost. Maybe I'll grab this one, something fancy. All right. So does everybody, hey V, how are you? Does everybody have their supplies ready? Let's go through what colors and measurements, okay? So we have a 4 1/4 by 9 7/8, and I chose Coastal Cabana. Thanks, Stu. Yeah, they look good together, don't they? And then we needed from the same base color, or color number 1. Let me just pull it up so I can look to see how I can't pull it up. I can't pull it up. Today, before we get started, hey Kathy, went through all the different accounts I have, and I have all my passwords written down in a book, and I went through and changed all my passwords because I got a call from the bank. There was suspicious activity, and somebody charged like $600 worth of products, like clothes, I think clothes, on my debit card. So naturally now I don't have my debit card. They canceled it and I have to wait for a new one. This just happened. Yes, again, it happened again. All right, so here's what I chose. I don't have my iPad in here. So it's 9 7/8 by 4 1/4, and I chose Coastal Cabana. And then also in Coastal Cabana, I cut a 4 1/4 by 4 1/8. And then for the inside, I cut a 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I decided to use the deckled circles, and this is 3 1/4, about 3 1/4. So I told you could do either. Time for a new bank. No, I guess it has to be from paying for things online. It's the only thing I can think somebody hacked. So I said either a circle or a square or something else that you can layer. So I chose the deckled circles. And like I said, this is about 3 1/4. And then my second color that I chose is Melon Mambo. And this one is 4 1/8 by 4. And then for the inside, I did 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then another deckled circle, and this one is about 2 7/8. All right, again, if you did squares, that's perfectly fine. And then we needed some basic white, so I did my circle in basic white, 2.5 inches. And then for the inside, a basic white that is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. And then we needed some designer series paper. And I chose, let me just look, Unbounded Beauty 12 by 12 in this design. Okay. And it measures 5 1/4 by 4. And then I needed another one that was 4 by 3 7/8. So those are all the pieces that I posted yesterday. All right. So let's just move this over. And we're going to start with our base. Let me just get my trimmer. I forgot to bring a drink in. It's always so warm in here. So we're going to score this at 5.5. So that's going to be our normal card base size, right? Our 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then we're going to fold and burnish. So we're left with a front piece. Let's just look here. Our front piece is 4 3/8 by our 4 1/4. All right, so here is our card base. Now we're going to layer it up. Let me just separate my pieces here so I don't get all messed up. So we're going to layer the front. Now we have to be very careful, and I'm going to open this up so we can see. You have to be careful because this piece is 1/8 of an inch difference. One side is 4 1/4, one side is 4 1/8. So we know that the 4 1/4 is going to be the left to right, and the 4 1/8 is top to bottom. Excuse me. I might have to go get my drink. So we are going to adhere this to the front of the card. Yeah, so like I said, when I get a phone call from a number that I do not really know, I don't answer. There's so many scams going on that I just wait until they call. And if it's legit, they'll usually leave a message. And they did leave a message for me. The only thing was they said it was, my bank. And they were calling regarding a card ending in 0. And I thought that was suspicious because my card does not end in 0. All right, so I glued that first piece on. Now we're going to get our other piece of cardstock. And again, we have to make sure it fits because one side is just a little bit smaller. So I ended up calling the customer service and talked to a woman, and so I knew who I was talking to, and that's what they said. So they, like I said, shut my card down. All right, so we're just going to layer that right on the front. And then our DSP. Now again, if your DSP is directional, the short side is top to bottom, okay? So if it's directional, it would be the shortest, the longest. And we're just going to add some glue and add this to the front of the card. Isn't this paper so pretty? I love this paper. All right, so now that the front is done, we can check it out this way. I know, it is. It's terrible. Thank goodness I took money out of the bank the other day because I don't usually have cash and I only have the one card. I don't have credit cards. I don't have anything, and it's a problem. Ah. All right. So I said you needed to have some stamps for images, sentiments, whatever you need. So like I said, I'm going to use this little cat, and I'm just trying to think, what color shall I do this little cat? I think I'm going to do it in crumb cake. And I also grabbed that Stampin' Up! Marker 300. You'll remember with that one stamp set, we had the markers with the numbers. Stampin' Up! 100 to Stampin' Up! 1000. Now, though, and let me see if I can find it, they do still have them. Let me see. I didn't save the page. I don't think it's this far, though. Let's see. Sorry, I didn't save the page because I was looking. Oh, here it is, right here. So now the natural tones are light, medium, medium deep, and deep. Now I am thinking that the 300 is either the medium or the medium deep. One of the two, and I will have to check. I did have a list of which one it was. So you can still get them. They're on page 131. And so that's what I'm going to use for this little cat. And I think what I'll do is I will stamp it in, I think I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake. All right. So let's ink this little baby up. So like I said, I've been cleaning my room in here. Ay, 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 what a disaster. All right, so we're going to center this little cat. Oh, how cute. How sweet is that little cat? All right, so little kitty is holding some flowers in a flower pot, and it resembles the flowers on the DSP. That's why I wanted to do the little kitty cat. So we are going to, oops, we got glue all over. And I don't have any paper towels in here because I cleaned. So I took everything out. Here we go. We got a rag. So I'm going to start with, and I got to check my colors. I like to just grab a scrap of paper. Let me grab it here. And see, yes, that's very dark. So that'll be my dark. And then the crumb cake, this is dark crumb cake, will be my medium. And then the light crumb cake will be my light. All right. I always check. Where is he from? He is from the Fluffiest Friends. Right here. Isn't he cute? I think he's just so cute. And I'm guessing this is a little hamster, a little bunny. I'm going to be using these guys for Thursday. I figured we'll do something on the cutesy side. All right, so I'm going to start with the SU 300, and I am going to add it to the ears. I'm going to add some under the neck. And I know it looks so dark, right? And I am going to add some hairs down the side, all right? And I'm going to add some to the foot and to this foot because it's a shadow around the leg and the tail. Let's go up the tail a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to go underneath these little paws. And that flower pot. All right, just so we can add a little shadow. So now I'm going to take my crumb cake dark, and we are going to, I'm going to go from the outside in. And let's get these little feet, just extending that color out. I'm actually going to come up this side of the tail and then back down this side, extending that color. All right, we're going to extend the color under his neck. And we're going to add some color right around his body. Extend it around the flower pot. Let's come up here. I'm just going to go around some of these petals. We're going to come under his nose and outline him. Now, as it dries, you'll see a distinct difference. Aren't they? They're so cute. And then we'll take the light crumb cake, and again, we're going to extend this color out. And we're not being fancy. And I just noticed that stem right there. You really can't see it too well. So I am going to take a brown marker and I'm just going to get that stem in there. So we're just going to, let me grab this one again. I forgot to do the top of this paw. So we're just going to extend and color, okay? Well, forgot between his legs too. So let's get his foot. We're going to do his tail. I'm just going to color, but what I want to do is add a little extra to that line, the edge of that dark crumb cake, so it blends it out a little bit. And it's actually better if you do it on the table. I shouldn't. So we're going to just fill him in. And then up here, go over that line a little bit. And then we'll see what it looks like when it's dry. And I'm going to do his nose, but I am going to get my color lifter. And I'm just going to go over that nose a little bit. And while I still have my marker, I'm going to Just add a little bit of detail. Let's put his little eyes in there. All right. So I'm going to go back to my dark crumb cake, and I am just going to outline it again, just quick. So I don't want to do it all over. All right. And then I'm going to come back in with my light crumb cake. I just want to go over that edge one more time. And as you can see, I'm scribbling a little bit. And you'll notice that now that I am going over the light crumb cake again, it's darker, right? So we're going to go around his eyes and his nose. All right. So we're going to let that dry. Just pull it in a little bit. And then I'm going to grab some, what do I want here? Let's go with some Cajun Craze. I'm going to do this flower pot. So we got the dark. We're going to add some dark on this side. Go under that rim. We're going to go around his paw. And then around this paw. And then I'm going to go from the other side. So I'm going to turn it. I'm going to come from the other side. This is light Cajun Craze. We're going to extend that color a little bit. And extend that color. All right. So now we have a little bit of white in there. So what I'm going to do is, again, with the light, I am just going to give it a wash. Okay. I'm just going to take that color lifter and I'm just going to put a line right down the center so it has a little bit of a highlight in the center. And then we're going to grab some Melon Mambo. And I'm going to do light Melon Mambo. And we are going to color in this flower. So that's Melon Mambo. And we need some green. I'll do light shaded spruce. Here's something else I've been doing. Do you see these little circles? I labeled all my blends. So let's get some green on that leaf. And I am going to grab a, let's see. Oh, here it is. A little tiny gem. And put it right in the center of that flower. All right. Okay, so here's our little kitty cat. We're going to layer up now. Come on. Let's try a different one. This probably is empty too. So we're going to layer up our circles. Okay, third time's a charm. There we go. So we're going to add some glue and we're going to layer up our circles. And then we're going to add our little kitty. And I'm going to just be sparingly with our glue. I have a piece of hair stuck. And let's lay him down. All right. Give that a second to dry and let's look for some dimensionals. Get rid of these bottles tomorrow. And we're going to pop this little kitty cat up. And remember, this little flap here is short, so we don't want to center it. We have to move it over and center it on our designer series paper. All right. I'm actually going to, that doesn't match. Let's get some white. White is always good. I'm going to use the petal pink and white diagonal trim. And we're going to add a bow. Hey, Karen. Thank you. Gorgeous weather. Yes, here too. It's actually quite lovely out right now. It's nice and breezy. It's what, 73 degrees. It's beautiful. All right, so we got a cute little bow. Let's just, I'm going to trim it so it's this way. Let's see if I can't turn that. There we go. So let's just trim that. Grab some glue dots. And we're going to add a bow to the front of the card. And I'm going to put it right about here. And I'm not going to put any more gems on the front. We have the one that's right here in the flower. 71 in New York City. Wow. It's cooler than here, huh? All right. So now we can get to the inside. We're going to grab that. Let me just put these markers in here so we can clear some room. Light crumb cake. All right, and this one goes up there. All right, so now we can layer up our layers for the inside. We have our Coastal Cabana, and I believe it's 5 1/4 by 4. Nope, it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And our designer series paper is 5 1/4 by 4. So we're going to add the designer series paper to our Coastal Cabana. Make sure it's on here straight. Mostly focusing on this outside edge, right? And then we have our Melon Mambo square. And I don't think it's really square, is it? 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Yes, it is. So let's add some glue. And we're going to center this. Maybe not. Let me just check to make sure. We want to make sure it is. I'm going to move mine over to the left a little because we want to make sure it is underneath the flap. We don't want to see it, okay? So I moved it a little to the left. And then we have our inside basic white. And we don't want to leave it plain, of course. So there are some cute little flowers in this set also. Let me grab a block, and I'm going to again use the crumb cake, and I'm going to ink this up. I just want to make sure where these stems are. And I'm going to add those flowers to the corner. And then I'm going to grab some Memento, and let's try you know what? Let's do nothing fancy, just love. Let's see, do I have, oh, it does have this sticker on it. So I'm gonna ink it up, and I am going to add it right here to this corner. Hopefully the sticker is on there straight. Yes. And again, the Nothing Fancy, Just Love is from Something Fancy stamp set. So let's look at these flowers. I'm going to go with the shaded spruce again. And let's just color in these leaves. Now, if I wanted, I could have taken the Stampin' Write markers and colored in the stems on the stamp set. You don't want to do it with Stamping Blends. You color your stamps with Stampin' Write markers, and it could have been green. And then I'm just going to take some Melon Mambo. Let's color in these petals. Now Bill is either singing or he's talking to himself. I hear him in there. I'm going to take some Dark Daffodil Delight and fill in those centers. It'll look so much prettier when it dries. All right, so you know I don't like usually adding my white with glue, so I'm going to put some adhesive. And we're going to add this to this Melon Mambo square, making sure it's on there straight. And then grab that glue. And we can add it to the inside of the card. I am actually going to start it on this side to make sure we have it. So we're watching, I don't know if you've ever heard we watch YouTube all the time. She's a YouTuber called Grizzly True Crime, and she goes over all the different court cases and anything that's happening in the world. She's awesome. Hey, Cynthia. Hi, honey. Thank you. Aw, thanks, Kathy. I am well, thank you. All right, so there's the inside, and now watch. When you close it, we have this little section here. So it actually looks like a completed front, right? Until you open it. So there you go. There is tonight's mystery card. Share your cards. I think I have to post a random winner from the last 2 weeks, and I'll do it in a little while. Um, but it's cute, right? Love it, love it, love it. So don't forget, post yours in our group. I'd love to see what you come up with. It doesn't have to be like this. It can be anything using the dimensions that I gave you on Sunday. So enjoy the beautiful weather and the rest of your night. And I will see everybody later. Thanks for joining me. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.